Good afternoon. My name is Arturo Velasquez. Behind the camera is Sean Story. Today is March 26th, and I am here to present our fourth installment of our Veterans Q&A for the David J. Flores Veteran Center. Today we have our guest, Lorenzo Delgado. Can you please give us a rundown of where you're from, branch you served in, and the time you served in?
You want to know where I was born?
Yes, sir.
I was born in Borica, New Mexico, the other side of PDL, in 1935. And we had a little ranch out there, and I was born during the Depression and the Dust Bowl. And everything went bad because there was no grass, and it was bad, and we lost our ranch. We lost our ranch to the Moyes brothers store here, and we moved to Puerto de Luna, and from there eventually we moved to Santa Rosa. And what was the other question?
What branch did you serve in?
I served in the U.S. Army. I was wandering out through the country, and I wound up in Des Moines, Iowa, and I was broke, and I joined the Army. I was in the Army 3 years. I served 17 months in Korea, and I wanted to go there because I lost a brother in Korea that was highly decorated. One of the few persons from Santa Rosa that lost their lives in Korea. Lost his life October the 4th, 1951. He had a big write-up in the paper, and he's in the book of Dan Flores' book of Heroes of Puerto de Luna, and his name is right there. Rodolfo Delgado Jr., Private Korea Army. 18 years old, 18 and a half years old, lost his life. And so I served 3 years, 17 months in Korea, and the other time stateside. And I had a real good outfit when I was in San Antonio at what was the name of that place? I can't even remember. It was so long ago. And I would have probably stayed in the Army if I would have stayed with that outfit. It was a good outfit. I had a good company commander. I had good first sergeants. It was a good outfit. It was fun. And I might have stayed in the Army 20 years if I'd have stayed with that outfit. Korea, the outfit that I was in wasn't that great, but I had good buddies, so I managed to do all right. They put me in doing something that I was not trained in. They put me as a clerk in that outfit, but I hadn't been trained for that. So you never know where you're gonna land, you know. And then I also worked at a water purification point, and that was enjoyable. We had quarters for ourselves. We were not mixed with the other soldiers in that company, so that was kind of fun. Yeah, so it was a good experience. I think every young man ought to serve in the service, and it's a good experience. And you learn discipline. And growing up, you know, a lot of times we don't have the discipline we should have. Mm-hmm. You know, we're sometimes disobedient to our parents. But it was a good experience, and I recommend it.
Yes, sir. What schooling did you receive before you joined the military?
What training?
Schooling.
Schooling. I finished high school and went to college one semester, and I didn't do good. I wasn't ready for school. So that's when I started wandering and wound up in Des Moines, Iowa.
What job did you hold while in the military?
I was a company clerk.
Who or what did you leave behind when you entered the service?
Who or what did I leave behind? Oh, I left behind memories, some memories that I didn't want to remember. And who? I left some good buddies. You always manage to have some good friends that you can rely on, you know. And so it was a good time. It was a good time.
What was your favorite memory of your time in training?
You know, I thought it was nice when we went out on bivouac, you know, where we had to rough it. It was kind of hard, but at the same time, it was a learning experience and a learning of how to get along with the other guys, you know, how to cooperate in doing the chores that we needed to do.
Do any particular instructors stand out in your mind? If so, why?
Instructors?
Yes, sir.
The instructors that I had in San Antonio, Texas, at Fort Houston Medical Depot. The sergeants that I had there were real good, and they knew how to handle men and make it enjoyable. Yeah. But I can't even remember their names. It's been too long, too long ago.
What was your first assignment after basic training?
After basic training, I was at a medical depot there in Fort Sam Houston, Texas. That was my first assignment. At a medical depot. We used to learn how to use forklifts and medical supplies, handling medical supplies.
Did you qualify with any equipment such as vehicles, guns, and radios?
Guns, I qualified with guns. Marksman, I think. And then I qualified with equipment, forklift, and what else? That's about it, I guess.
Did you happen to receive any promotions?
Yes. I went from private to private E2 to PFC to specialist third class.
What was the hardest part of military life to adjust to?
I guess discipline. I needed discipline. Sometimes the first sergeants can be pretty rough in basic, but you know, you take it. Yeah. It's all right. It's not that bad.
Why do you think the discipline was the hardest part?
Because I wasn't disciplined enough while I was growing up. I was kind of disobedient.
How did your time in the service change you?
Change me. How did it change me? I guess through discipline, I was changed. Yeah. I was a better man when I got out than when I went in.
What kind of friendships did you form in the service?
Oh, you know, that's one thing about me. I made friendships in basic, in the second 8 weeks of training, in Korea. When I got back from Korea, I didn't have any trouble with friendship. I made a lot of friends. But that was a long time ago. I can hardly remember the names anymore.
How did you stay in touch with your family?
Writing, I used to write fairly often because they were concerned about me being in Korea since I had lost a brother there, you know. And once in a while I would make a phone call. So I stayed in touch. I had good parents.
Do you recall the day your service ended? Where were you when it did?
It ended in DuPont bomb plant in South Carolina, March of 1958. I was discharged.
What type of discharge did you receive?
Honorable discharge.
Did you return home, and if not, where did you go?
I returned home, and about 5 months after I returned home, I got married.
What was the hardest part about returning to civilian life?
It was easy. It was easy. I did 3 years, but I was glad to come home and see friends, you know, and family and girlfriends. They always play a part.
Did you go back to work, or did you use your GI Bill to receive a college education?
Me and my brother started a business here in Santa Rosa. We had a service station and a little drive-in restaurant on top of the hill. You're too young to remember what it was, but it was a drive-in restaurant. And then the freeway came into town and the businesses went bad. So I moved out, went to Albuquerque, operating a service station there. And from there, I got a job at Creamland Dairies as a milkman. And eventually they gave me a promotion to Santa Fe to be a supervisor. And eventually I went into business for myself, and I did very well in that business. I retired at the age of 62, and I sold my business and I made a good profit. So everything, including the service, always helps in one way or another, you know.
Yes, sir. Do you think it should be mandatory for every male or female should serve in the military at least 2 years?
Well, you know, I think it's a good thing for a young man. So I don't know if it should be mandatory or if you could volunteer for 2 years. I would like to see that better. And if you like it, you can always re-up for 6 more and get a bonus.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I think everybody should serve.
How has your time in the service changed your thought about wars and the military in general?
Let's see, ask that question again, please.
How has your time in the service changed your thought about wars and the military in general?
I don't know if it changed me, because I know that wars are inevitable, you know. They're gonna come, and I always said if we have another war and I get called back, I will be happy to go, because we need to defend this country. We have a good country. We have the best country ever. and we need to defend it.
Can you tell us if you got drafted or did you volunteer?
I volunteered for 3 years, and I served all 3 years. Yeah. 17 months in Korea, and the other times in the United States in different places. Yeah.
What message would you like to leave for future generations who will hear this interview?
I think I would tell every person that it is good to be in the service. I think it makes a man out of you, and you might think you're already a man, but going in the service, you learn a lot of things, and you come back changed, ready to take on a career, maybe take on a wife. So even that, it helps. So yeah, yes, I could. I would recommend that every young man go into the service.
Is there anything that you'd like to add that we did not cover in today's interview?
Well, I guess we can always expect slippery slopes, and we need to be prepared for that, because there's always going to be adversity, and don't take it so hard. Some people, it devastates them, and they get too over concerned a lot of times over little things that don't matter. That later on you say, well, it was no big deal, I got through it. And so you can get through it.
That is all we have for you today.
Okay.
I just wanted to say thank you for your service.
You're welcome.